One of these brand new toy haulers already has frame damage, new at the dealership lot. The other has a suspension modification that will probably help avoid frame damage. In today's RV review, we're going to be looking at two different fifth wheel toy haulers, and I'm going to talk about what to be on the lookout for with RV frames when you're shopping. If you're new here, my name is Jacob. I'm an RV technician, and I go undercover at dealerships. Today we'll be looking at a new 2024 Jayco Seismic Luxury Series 4113 toy hauler versus the 24 Brinkley Model G 3950. The first thing I looked at on these two RVs was the slide-out mechanisms. The Jayco has, for the largest slide, a BAL exact slide system. It has a fold-out deck on the passenger side of the vehicle, which is interesting. But then the bedroom slide-out has a Schwintek slide mechanism. Schwintek is one of my least favorite slide-out mechanisms. They're very prone to issues. So I give this RV 6 out of 10 points for the slides. The Brinkley, on the other hand, has a standard through frame on the main slide out, which is hydraulically actuated, and then a Lippert slim rack for the bedroom slide out. Because hydraulics on these slide outs are prone to leaking, I give this RV an 8 out of 10 points for its slides. Brinkley is building their slides differently. They're using a composite fiberglass material for the flooring. If the floor on your slide rots out, it's hugely expensive to repair. So I like that they use this material that's not prone to water damage. Now, you still want to keep water from coming in. Right at the bottom of the bedroom slide out, the T-molding tends to flex back and forth, and if there's caulking at the top to keep water out, that'll crack. Brinkley, they're putting a Mylar film Eternabond tape around the corner to seal water out before they put the T-molding on. That means the T-mold can flex back and forth every time the slide closes and opens again, and it's not going to have caulking crack leading to water intrusion. The next category we look at is roofing, and both of them have a membrane type roof, which I give a 10 out of 10 points. However, it's important to have any new RV with a membrane roof inspected for bubbles, because bubbles can lead to the entire roof ripping off of the RV as you drive down the highway. This is one of the things in my free Don't Buy a Lemon guide, which you can download on my website. Next, let's talk about the water heater choice on these two RVs. Jayco chose a Suburban brand tank type water heater versus Brinkley, who chose a tankless water heater. While I give both of these appliances a 10 out of 10 score on quality, I think that the tank type is actually a better choice for a toy hauler, because typically when people buy a toy hauler, it's because they want to go out in the desert with their ATV and go have some fun. They're going to be camping off grid. Tankless water heaters like Brinkley chose don't allow you to conserve water, which means that you're going to run through your water supply faster if you want hot water. Next, let's talk about the refrigerator. Both of them use a standard residential type 110 volt powered refrigerator. These I give 10 out of 10 points on quality. I want to make a note though that the term residential is now being applied by dealerships and salesmen to 12 volt refrigerators. 12 volt refrigerators are gaining a really bad reputation for failing a lot. I think this is a sales technique where they're telling people it's residential because it's electric. RV companies and dealerships and salespeople will use a lot of marketing tactics to try and get you to think that the quality is all the same. And the truth is it's not. This is one of the topics I cover in my RV shopping course, how you can tell the difference between a 12 volt residential refrigerator and a 110 volt residential refrigerator. With the shopping course, you also get access to my RV grading app, which you see me using in this video to grade these RVs, as well as my RV database, so that you can look up and compare and contrast the quality of the different manufacturers. The next category I look at is the cabinet quality in these RVs. And despite Brinkley's reputation for being superior quality on everything, honestly, these cabinets are all built out of kind of the same crap. The doors on both are made with solid wood, which is good quality, but the boxes are made out of a vinyl wrapped lumber core, which is very prone to water damage. I give the cabinets in both the Brinkley and the Jayco 8 out of 10 points. The next category is the countertops in these RVs. Both the Jayco and the Brinkley, they use solid surface countertops. I give these 10 out of 10 points. Next category I'm going to look at is the air conditioners. And the Jayco has Coleman Mach, which they're not my favorite. I give them 7 out of 10 points. Brinkley, on the other hand, has one of my least favorite air conditioners, conditioners, which is the GE profile air conditioners. The problem that I've heard so many people report about their GE air conditioners is that they've lost the refrigerant and had to be replaced sometimes 2, 3, 4 times under warranty. Like that's within 2 years, just one after the other failing. The only thing worse than having a GE air conditioner on your RV is having 3 of them because it's a freaking toy hauler. I give GE air conditioners 5 out of 10 points. Now we get to talk about the frames on these RVs. Both of these frames are from Lippert Components, but these manufacturers get to spec how the frames are built. A lot of the frame damages that I see is that the I-beams can crack around the axle attachment points. The first thing I noticed when I was looking at this Jayco frame, where the axles are attached to the I-beams, they don't have any sort of lateral reinforcement. On other Jaycos, I've seen that they'll reinforce the bottom of the I-beam with a steel tube. If you look at the Brinkley, they've got a stupid little piece of steel welded in there at least to try and stop some of the side-to-side flexing. They don't even have that. Like, this is the most basic suspension as far as the way the frame is made. I don't know how they don't expect this to have problems in the future. The second thing I noticed on the Jayco is the frame is just all banged up. In some cases, like these big dents, this is like handling damage at the factory because, I don't know, they dropped it while they were moving with the forklift or something. But in other cases, the leaf springs where they attach to the shackle links were literally just smashing up against the bottom of the frame as it drives down the road, causing more dents. Seems like kind of a design flaw. If your suspension is hitting your frame, I am not a structural engineer. I've seen enough RV frames to tell you that like there are a lot of things they can do to try and reinforce frames, and this doesn't have any of them. So I have to take at least 1 point off. Brinkley, on the other hand, has actually tried to do something. They've added this sumo spring on top of the axle to limit upward movement. That upward movement is what was causing damage on the Jayco. That said, I don't expect that this will eliminate all issues. I would love to see from manufacturers better reinforcing from left to right on these RVs. Moride even has their X-Factor suspension brace, which both the Jayco and the Brinkley, I think, could benefit from. Why they don't just weld this tube in at the factory when they're making frames, I don't know. I guess they're trying to save weight, not your vacation. The next category we're going to look at is how they plumbed these RVs. And if you're new here, you may be wondering, like, wait a minute, how could they plumb it wrong? At the end of this video, I'm going to link a playlist where I explain the problem in detail. The short version is they're using hoses with fittings that are not designed for each other, and it creates leaks. The Jayco has these bad plumbing connections everywhere throughout the RV. I have to give it 0 out of 10 points. The Brinkley, on the other hand, only has these bad connections in the black tank flush system. If you've been watching my channel, you'd know that historically I haven't been taking off any points for these types of connections on the black tank flush system. The tank flush system doesn't hold full water pressure the way the hot and the cold water systems do. And because I've never personally experienced a leak there, I haven't felt the need to deduct any points or give them an F grade for it. Recently, I've been hearing reports of people who have had minor leaks in the black tank flush system due to this type of improper plumbing connection. So I'm actually going to be deducting 2 points wherever I see this, meaning I give the Brinkley an 8 out of 10 on the plumbing system. The last category we look at is fit and finish on these RVs, and both of them were really good. I give them 10 out of 10 points. It's important to note that the Brinkley has a dual fuel generator, whereas the Jayco is gasoline only. These two generator setups I would consider features. They don't affect the grade of the RV as far as quality, but it definitely might impact your experience. With either one, it's possible to overload the generators. This is part of why I offer one-on-one consulting with people, because you really need to understand how you're planning to use an RV to know if the features are going to suit your needs. So the final score on the Jayco was 80 points. Now, unfortunately, because of the bad plumbing, I have to give it an F grade. With the number of different connections and where these connections are, this RV would be very difficult to replumb. I don't really recommend buying it. The final score on the Brinkley was 89 points. I'd consider this a B+ RV. If you're planning on boondocking a lot, you may actually want to change the water heater on this or find an RV that already has a tank type water heater. If you found this video to be helpful, I'd like you to thank Agent Max Payne in the comments. It's harder for me to go undercover at dealerships because the salespeople definitely know who I am. So I've started working with undercover agents like Max Payne. If you want to see more undercover reviews, click here for a list of all the fifth wheels that I've reviewed. Or to see more about the plumbing problem that's plaguing the RV industry, click here.